And we've been on top of this story, telling you at the top of the hour, a former White Cloud police officer faced a judge today. Candace Wallace Baumgartner is charged with 2 counts of perjury, accused of lying about falsifying a police report and about being asked to investigate the Amanda Lanke murder scene. Baumgartner is the sister of the prime person of interest in Lanke's murder, Cecil Wallace Sr. Now, cases like this raise questions about your trust in police. So I'm joined now by Julie Junker, the Director of Criminal Justice Training at the Police Academy on GVSU's campus. Julie, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
You see cases like this, you being so close to law enforcement, what goes through your mind?
It's discouraging to see that officers that are placed in that position of trust make bad decisions, and that they make those decisions based on emotion rather than on good pre-planning.
Are these things too that you address at the Police Academy?
They are. As a matter of fact, the state of Michigan requires that we spend 4 hours talking about ethics, and at Grand Valley we actually spend 14 hours, and a lot of those are applied things in which we put students in scenarios and ask them to look at those core values and ask them where they saw those values and where they saw a lack of those values.
Because when we see cases like the one we just showed, this isn't the only one. Now, right now, we're also following the case of 2 off-duty Battle Creek police officers involved in a drunk driving crash. The officer driving was actually suspended for 20 days. A lieutenant who drove them home has been demoted. And we just learned last night the officer in the passenger seat was already facing alcohol-related trouble with her department. Now, when you have another case like this too, what does that do to the community then as a whole? Is the community losing trust in law enforcement?
I think the community trust is a bit of an ebb and a flow. When we see incidents like this, the community trust goes down. Then when we see things that happen good in a police department or officers that do things very well, hopefully that trust is regained again.
Now, talk about as well the importance of having the community's trust, because it's something that people at home want to know. Do police even want us to trust them?
Sure. It's important to have the community's trust because as a police officer, you are in a fishbowl, and everything that you do is looked at by citizens and judged by citizens. And so having that trust and feeling that the community knows that you're doing the right thing or trying to do the right thing, every opportunity that you get, I think does help police officers make better decisions.
So, are these cases a black eye on law enforcement?
To some degree, I think they are, again, discouraging, but hopefully that they're not the type of thing that will take away complete trust from the community.
And something else I want to bring up too, not involving law enforcement, but certainly a case that we want to touch on. Again, it raises questions about trust and authority. The Roy Schmidt re-election scandal. The state representative, as well as Republican House Speaker Jase Bolger, now face further investigation by a one-person grand juror in Ingham County. Of course, this is after the 2 planned Schmidt's party switch and then recruited a 22-year-old to run against him as a Democrat in an attempt to rig the primary. Now, I know separate from law enforcement, but once again, someone in authority. So what does this do for trust?
Again, with that sense of someone who has power and authority and the ability to make decisions that most people, most citizens don't have, does cause that trust to decline and decrease. And although I don't think it's the same level, law enforcement versus a politician type trust, I think it certainly adds to that image of people in authority making bad choices.
Julie Junker, thank you so much, criminal justice trainer at GVSU. Appreciate you being here tonight.
Thank you.